Nhà ikwa.
Wipoa Mikei.
Nasha wish apoyar.
Kakla.
I loved the story that was told. I loved how the story was told. They really endeared you to these characters, and I think everybody in some kind of way likes to see, like, quote unquote, like the underdog win. And so having this, older man just kind of like repeatedly like underestimate and tell her to go away, tell her that she's just a little girl, and like everything like that makes you want to root for her and want to, see her succeed. So having that happen, I think, is such a great idea, like such a great way to bind the audience to a character anyway, because then you really end up really rooting for this little girl, and that in itself helps so much when you're trying to make a point.
I thought this film was fantastic, just so beautiful and so cinematic. Probably the number one thing that struck me about this film was the production value. It just feels very cinematic, and it feels like it had a high budget. The cinematography, just the aesthetic and the framing of every shot feels completely professional and very cinematic, like a Hollywood film. The acting was fantastic and again just very believable. You can just tell that a ton of thought and care was put into every aspect of this film. Everyone was performing at the top of their level. It didn't look like there were any shortcuts taken at any point. This is a film about climate change and nature conservation, and I think it brings a lot of depth and philosophical thought to that conversation. Just overall, I thought this was a great film, very well made.
I thought that it was very eloquently done. I think it was the grandmother who said a really important point is that we are not one with the land. We consume it. The white man consumes the land. We have to be one with the land, and we need to learn what that balance is. It was very impactful. The little girl brilliantly acted on her part. I loved how she became the warrior.
Very cool shot of the girl walking in the water to get some water and the water flowing toward the camera. I love that shot. The cinematography in this was very good. Great set decoration and location and makeup and costumes and directing and acting. All of this is just so great. I love the little girl. Her facial expressions are so subtle, so good. So good acting all around. The directing was really good. The editing, I love that little girl was a little warrior. I mean, oh my gosh. And the way it was told kind of through the grandma and her connecting and her touching her grandma's face, just such sweet moments. That was such a sweet, sweet scene. Love that scene with the granddaughter and the grandmother and her touching her grandma's face and giving her water. Just a sweet scene. I love the scene with her putting on the makeup and then chasing after her brother and raising her little fist like a little warrior. But then, she turns around and runs away. But she was that was just the first step in the right direction for her, man. That little warrior face, kind of standing up to her drunk brother who's not really, she doesn't feel like he's really, standing up or stepping up to the plate in the way that he should. And it's just so cool. I mean, I just really like this a lot. Just very cool effects too, where the blood was coming out of her eyes. I think it was supposed to be like tears. And the factory, the effects with the smoke, and it was such a well done little film. I really like this a lot.
This is a very well made piece with a great central performance from that little girl.
She did a great job. Even when she didn't have to say much, it was just her face was really good. And the visuals too were good, and the message, it had a good message, and it really hit on that message, and it hit it really well. And I think overall it was very good.